Good. Not sure what actually happened there. So hopefully everyone hops back in with us. If not, I will clip this and put it back into our finished version. Okay, let's dive back into our pillar three then.
All right. Yeah. I think we've mostly covered this pillar three. Just the final thing is we have the solutions of humidifiers and dehumidifiers. Somebody had a question, could it be a portable unit or a whole home unit?
Right.
We typically deal in the whole home style. And that's mostly because it's typically a whole home problem. It's typically not a isolated room by room problem. In some cases, it could be. There are, for example, really good use cases for basements and encapsulated spaces, crawl spaces.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, typically we would recommend dealing more on the whole home scale. Okay, I see
Awesome.
some people are
Yeah, starting to pop back through here.
popping
Maybe.
back in. So just yeah, the three pillars again: filtration, ventilation, humidity control, airflow is the foundation of those pillars. Um, and these were all of the solutions that we covered from all three pillars. Um, One of the great solutions we've seen, again, ventilating dehumidifiers, great in climate ZNA. One of the, I guess, reasons that indoor air quality isn't accessible to everybody is some of the cost of these solutions in some cases can be high. One of the things that we've been innovating on is using a motorized damper connected to a duct to bring in ventilation air.
Sure.
And one of the reasons that isn't done today, especially in the humid climate zone, is because if you dump a bunch of hot, humid air into the home, you get issues. And so we're adding a layer of intelligence with our controller to say that there are certain times of the day that are demand based. So either based on the need for the ventilation. So is there a chemical level that we want to mitigate
Right.
and,
Is
and
there a certain
exchange the air?
point that we're going to start conditioning?
Yeah, is there a reason essentially to be ventilating? And we can measure through monitoring the TVOC levels that chemical soup. We know we actually want to get rid of that. We want to lower those levels, and so that's when we would say, yeah, time to turn on that motorized damper duct, and at the same time we can kick on the central fan to distribute that ventilation air. And we can make sure that the outdoor conditions, we have certain cutoffs. So if it's, just extremely humid or extremely hot or really dry, really cold, that we're not bringing in, freezing air. And so there's sort of a balance between comfort, health, safety, and even the damage to the home and the equipment. And with that layer of intelligence, we believe that there are lower cost solutions that we can make available that only work because of that layer of intelligence we're adding.
Okay. So we're starting to use more of an intelligent home approach towards indoor air quality, not just looking at a structure going, okay, it's a dry home. You're telling me you have a bloody nose. So we'll add a humidifier and we'll move it around until we find some place that you are comfortable. Now we're actually going to start measuring the quality of our air, and we're going to use controls to be able to mitigate what those solutions are for our indoor home environment.
Yeah, and to Todd's point, it's not like we're geniuses. We're literally just taking existing state of the market in commercial, in industrial, and bringing it to the sort of single family home and residential market. It's
Sure.
just amazing to us that some of this
We've went this
hasn't.
long. It
Yeah,
is amazing.
demand control, ventilation, economizer, like these are just
Yeah.
the simple functions we're trying to bring to the market so that people can benefit where we spend the most amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Um,
Well, we still have a few people out there. Anyone have any questions while we're going through here? Todd, thanks for jumping back in here with us. So we're not sure what actually happened on that connection issue.
yeah. I'll just wrap up on my side that monitoring, why would you do it? This is one of the sort of primary things we started off on as a company. The reason you want to monitor is because out of these three pillars, most homeowners don't have the budget out of the gate, at least, to do all three pillars at once.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And they might not even believe that all three pillars need to be addressed. And so really monitoring is just, as a technician, is being able to diagnose if there's a problem like you would the TXV is not good. The air conditioner, the Delta T is not, what it should be in terms of performance. Like just how you would troubleshoot any other issue, the monitor allows you to troubleshoot what the indoor air quality problem is, if there is a problem, and then allows you to specifically address that pillar. And so therefore can better fit into the budget and can be better educated and communicated to the homeowner. So you have a higher probability of actually getting the homeowner to understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say we can't solve an issue unless we have some kind of measurement, some kind of analysis. And then now we have some data that we can collect and give a true solution. So we can validate what that information is. So we can sort through what our readings are. We can show the homeowner, all right, here is the system performance. Here is the home performance. Now we can look at what our options are. So maybe we work on one piece now, maybe we work on other things. At least we're aware of what the condition actually is instead of just throwing IAQ items out going, okay, I've heard this works good. I'm going to give you a price for this. And by the way, let's just hit it all with this big old bundle. And I think it'll work. And let's just finance it all and we'll just make this thing work versus actually taking time using technology to analyze, give us some inputs so that we can actually have an output that's validated.
Yeah. And one thing to note is that with every season of the year, the air quality issues can change. So the issue you might detect through a monitor in the winter could be totally different from the summer because your windows are closed up or you're starting to use combustion in your furnace, or
Yes.
there's seasonal allergies or there's wildfires, right? So different issues happen at different times of the year, and you might address things in stages, as you said, as things come up. And it's quite likely that it could be a budget thing, or it could just be that it's not topical at that time. And it could also be that the technicians are too busy during the summer to do some of this work. And so a lot of this work tends to get done in the shoulder season and ends up being a great way to keep busy and retain staff during the shoulder seasons. And by the way,
Absolutely.
Ty Branneman's in the chat. Ty is a legend.
Yeah, absolutely he is.
Honored that you would tune in here, Ty.
Well, cool. That's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. I mean, there are so many things that we can follow through here with Kevin and dive deeper into what these solutions are. I think this is a perfect 101. This is an introduction to why are we looking at IEQ? Why are we looking at the quality of our air? I almost get nervous when people start saying we're going to look at IAQ because IAQ's got that stigma of no, this is parts, not understanding that no, let's talk about the quality of the air. If we change it around, Eugene Silverstein is always saying we analyze something by looking at it backwards, right? We're not looking at the indoor air quality. We're looking at the quality of the air that is indoor, right? If we approach it as let's talk about the quality of your air and what we can do to improve that, now it has a completely different perspective.
Thanks, Eugene.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Kevin, tell us a little bit about some follow up resources. I've got some things in here for us too. How can people get a hold of Haven and learn a little bit more about what's going on in your side of the quality air environment?
Yeah, so some of the resources were at Haven IAQ, so the Haven Indoor Air Quality, haveniaq.com. And if you're a professional and you want to check out Haven and how you can bring it to your customers, there's pro.haveniaq.com. You can create an account. You can even get some samples to try out at a discounted price, because we've seen that you need to have that personal experience with the product before you're going to bring it to solve problems for your customers. So those are the two places you can go.
Yeah, it is absolutely on my list. I was planning on doing that for this show and just ended up crazy busy.
Yeah.
So we'll add that one
It's that
on
time of year.
to it is. It's that time of the year. And I really appreciate those that have joined us today. We know that it's difficult to take time out of your day to join into a program when there's money to be made and work to do. But it's all about becoming better educated with our industry and understanding, that there's more to just being a technician than the mechanical scenarios, that we have a lot of air to look at as well. We are in the business of air conditioning. What is conditioning? Well, it's a lot more than just fixing equipment. All
So
right. Well, I think we're going to call it a wrap, Kevin. We really appreciate you joining us, and I'm looking forward to seeing you because I'll bet I'll run into you at the 2024 National HVACR Education Conference, which is going to be in Las Vegas again, and get a chance to see some of your equipment in action sometime in the near future, hopefully.
definitely. Well, Clifton, I so appreciate you having me and being able to talk about what we're passionate doing here at Haven. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you again next week on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. And hopefully, we won't have any restream connection issues.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.